no matter what your lifestyle is, whether you're working, whatever, get a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes of exercise a day. Minimum of 3 days in the week, no more than 6 days. So 3 to 6 days, give yourself at least 1 day of rest, but at least every other day. So incorporate that in, and there's something you can do. Even if you're sedentary, even if you're bedridden, you can move your arms, move your legs, move your body around. Movement is very, very important. The lymphatic system is only engaged through movement.
Welcome to another episode of A Real Talk with Dr. Jim Sharps. Great to have you back with us, Dr. Jim, and great for all our viewers back with us again for another episode. So as we discussed in previous videos, we're starting and kicking off in depth a new series that's really looking at natural health tips for a happier, healthier life. That's really what we want to dive into. Again, very practical, life-affirming tips in terms of health empowerment. So topic really in terms of going in depth today, Dr. Jim, is around natural remedies for boosting immunity. It's really looking at how do we naturally boost immunity. So maybe if you could just run us through those kind of 5 real core areas, and then we'll dive into them a little deeper.
Okay, and this is to lay the foundation for the remaining topics. So you can see that as we talk about these 5 things today, we're going to build on them in the next segment and the succeeding segments. But the very first thing for boosting the immune system that a lot of people don't give enough attention to, which you can get a huge benefit from, is drinking a sufficient amount of water. Water we are 70 to 75% water, and our body circulates our blood about 200 quarts per day. And you need a certain amount of water to keep that blood nice and clean and fresh, for taking nutrients to the cells, taking the poisons away. And the good thing about it is, even though that 200 quarts amounts to 800 glasses of water a day, you don't need the equivalent of 800 glasses of water a day. You don't need that amount. You only need about 1%. So you need about 8 glasses of water a day. So the first tip is, I want you to try to do 4 to 6 ounces of water. And the trick is not to drink it all at one time. You can't chug-a-lug it. You can't drink 2 quarts in the morning, 2 quarts in the afternoon, all at one time. It's the systematic drinking of water. So the first tip is, you take a 10 to 12 hour period and drink 4 to 6 ounces of water per hour. That's the tip. So try that for a week and see how it feels. See how you can work into that kind of a process. There's apps in there that can tip you off every hour. I have one on my phone. Mine is actually every half an hour. But just to get you into the groove, based on your size and weight, try to get at least minimum of 40 to 80 ounces of water in that 10 to 12 hour period of time in a systematic hourly basis. And then the other part of that is, stop drinking 3 hours before going to bed. So you don't want to do it right up to going to bed, because you want to get good, fitful sleep. And you don't want to be getting up in the middle of the night. So the systematic drinking of water, a minimum of 40 to 80 ounces of water. So even if you're overweight, don't overdo it. Don't stress yourself out. So if you did like 6 ounces over a 12-hour period of time, that's kind of 72 ounces. So 4 to 6 ounces, 10 to 12 hours. The second one is, no matter what your lifestyle is, whether you're working, whatever, get a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes of exercise a day. Minimum of 3 days in the week, no more than 6 days. So 3 to 6 days, give yourself at least 1 day of rest, but at least every other day. So incorporate that in, and there's something you can do. Even if you're sedentary, even if you're bedridden, you can move your arms, move your legs, move your body around. Movement is very, very important. the lymphatic system is only engaged through movement. And the lymphatic system is very important for moving toxins out of the body. So walking, running, swimming, biking, even if you in the office, you lock your door, and you can spread that out over periods. So you can do 10 minutes three times in the day, getting up to your, or 2 or 3 times a day to get to your 20 to 30 minutes. Even if you're standing in place, waving your arms, moving your arms. That's what I say, close the door, put the shutter on. You don't want anybody to think you're going crazy. Of course, you can walk in the mall, walk in the street. Of course, if you can do it outdoors, it's better, because then you're getting fresh air as well. So the second immune booster that we're focusing on is exercise, to get that lymphatic system engaged on a systematic basis. The next 3 have to do with diet. Everybody eats, and so we're going to expand on this, but let's talk about 3 very important, powerful things that can help you with diet. Number 1, eat a green salad at least once a day for 3 to, if you can do all 7 days, perfect. But for at least 3 days, add a green salad. That could be for lunch or for dinner. Any green leafy vegetable salad. I don't care what kind of greens you put in there, as long as it's leafy. It could be Bibb lettuce. It can be spinach. Try to get at least 3 or 4 different kinds. Spinach, chard, kale. You can add cucumbers to it. You can add peppers to it. Onions are a very good addition. You can add a little avocado, olives. But at a minimum, a green salad at least 3 days a week. Why? It's loaded with minerals. Where do you think the animals getting all their energy and their longevity from? They get it from the minerals in the vegetables that they eat. And green leafy vegetables are loaded with all kinds of minerals. We need 84 minerals for our body to function. And if you get a variety of minerals and from different kinds of vegetables, and you can get that in a salad, you can get 60 or more of those in a well thought out green salad. Doesn't have to be very big. You can start off small. It could be the whole meal if you make it rich enough. And you can even add a little bit of salmon to it, a little bit of chicken if you need to, but get that green salad in. Okay, the 4th thing is most of us eat our largest meal at the end of the day. This is going to be a little bit tricky. For at least 3 days, try to have your last meal the lightest meal of the day. The largest, heaviest meal, have that at midday, anywhere between 10 and 2 p.m. Have that heaviest meal. So you can have a pretty substantive meal for breakfast, but you're breaking your fast, so you don't want it to be the biggest, but you want it to be the most nutritional. And if it's more fruit-based or grain-based, it's going to be a lot easier on the system. So you don't want the heaviest meal, a heavy meat and dairy meal for breakfast. But that lunch, I don't care what you eat. You make that biggest meal, for now, we can fine tune later, between that 10 to 2. And then that last meal, it could be your soup and salad. It could be that salad with a soup, but the lightest meal. And just try it. It doesn't have to be, you don't want to have your heaviest meats and dairy and desserts, just for the 3 days. Just try it for 3 days. If you can do it for all 7, work into it. You don't have to do it all this first week. And then the last one kind of builds off of this. I'm going to prove to you that people think, they don't realize that eating, and as we go through this series, you test me on this, eating food actually contributes, food and water contributes to 20% of your energy. Most of it actually comes from air and water. So we talked about the water piece, and you're going to get the air. The nice thing, I'm not going to even talk about air, because if you had to volunteer, if you had to be very intentional about air, most of us would be dead. So we have to breathe. So I'm not going to even go into that. So I talked about the water, but what I want you to do is to do at least 1, preferably 3 18-hour fasts during this first week period. So what that means is, after your last meal, let's say your biggest meal ends at 2 o'clock. So 18 hours after that, that means 8 a.m. So you don't eat anything for that 18-hour period. Now, if that's too stressful for you, and especially if your last meal is going to be, say, at 6 o'clock, so make that as early as possible, at least 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. If it's going to be at 6 o'clock, that means you don't have your next meal until 10 a.m. or 12 noon. So it could be your second meal or your last meal, but try to go a minimum of 16 to 18 hours, preferably 18 hours. But if you give me 14 hours, I'll be happy. But try that 18-hour fast. That's the goal, at least once. So those are the tips, and those are very, very powerful. And if you start this process and you build on this over this 5-week series that we're going to go through, you're going to see at the end of this 5 weeks, you're going to, by the 6th week, you're going to already start experiencing outrageous health and vitality. So those are the 5 tips that I wanted to start with this first week in terms of some very powerful immune boosters that you can start incorporating into your daily life. You have any questions on that, or do you think that's clear enough in terms of talking about these top 5 natural remedies for this first episode?
I think that's clear. The challenge has been laid down. If you want to be part of a community that will go alongside these challenges in real time, do check out a link to our online community in the video description. We'll be kind of aligning kind of community activities with the challenges we're doing here on YouTube. So if you want to participate with others, jump into the community. We'd love to have you there. But I think that's super clear, Dr. Jim. That's been great. Lovely to have you with us sharing again. And for those that are viewing, we'll see you at the challenge. See you online on our online community. Until the next time, bye for now.
Bye for now. God bless.